Hello again, it's Miss Jennifer here at BRAHM. This week we are learning about artist Paul Cezanne, and then we are going to paint tulips in a vase. This would make a great gift for a mom or grandmom in your life, or just to hang on your own wall. Before we begin, let's learn a little bit more about Paul Cezanne. Paul Cezanne was born in France in 1839. His career as an artist spanned over 40 years, producing almost 1,000 oil paintings and over 400 watercolors. His work is categorized as post-impressionist or early cubist. He was much admired by artists Henri Matisse and Pablo Picasso, who declared Cezanne is the father of us all. He is especially known for his masterful use of design, color, and composition. So today we're going to use oil pastels to color our tulips. Stay tuned at the end and I will show you 3 different ways you could also paint your tulips using watercolor, tempera, or washable marker. I like to use oil pastels when I am doing kind of an impressionist style. They're really fun and they blend. They come in different sizes, shades, brands, so I wanted to show you these are Crayon oil pastels. They're a little bit thicker, chubbier. They're harder to get detail, but you work faster. These are by Pastel, and these are by Sakura Crayon. Any kind of oil pastels, even the ones from Michael's, or a nice artist quality from Cheap Joe's would work wonderful for this. I'm using a little bit thicker paper today. It's like a student grade watercolor, but you can use almost any paper with oil pastels. So we're going to start with the pot or vase at the bottom of our drawing. I'm going to make a small smile near the bottom of my paper. Then I'm going to go up about as tall as my hand. Your hands might be a little smaller than mine. And I'm going to make 2 sides for my vase. You can make any shaped vase you would like. And then you might draw kind of a lip around the edge of the vase with another smile. And there's my vase. So now let's get to the tulips. For each tulip, you're going to start by making a U and an upside down U. I'm going to do 4 tulips in my vase today. I'm going to start one with a large U, then an upside down U inside, and then just connect to make 2 side petals. I'm going to make my other tulips a little bit farther away. I don't want them right on top of each other. So I'll make one over here. I don't want to put them all in a line, so I make a U, upside down U, and connect the petals. Okay. You could use a black crayon or oil pastel or even a Sharpie marker for that step. Next, I want to draw my leaves and stems. I'm going to switch to a green for this. You could do it with black, doesn't really matter. So I'm going to start with the lowest tulips and draw a thick, wide stem into my pot. You could make straight lines or curved. It's up to you. Now I have my stems. I'll add some leaves. For each leaf, I'm going to make one slightly curved line, then do a line on one side and a line to match on the other. Now, I want to put a leaf behind this tulip. Watch. I jump past the tulip, I skip the middle, and I'm going to make my line on each side. I'm going to start with a lemony yellow color. I'm going to kind of work from the left top down. If you draw with your left hand, work from the right down so you don't smear as much. I'm going to fill the center of my tulip shapes with the lightest color, then come back with, in this case, a reddish orange, and fill in the rest of the tulip petals. I can come back again with that yellow over top of the orange and really blend those. Doesn't that look nice? Now you might choose to do purple tulips or all yellow, maybe pink and purple. Find out what maybe your mom or grandma's favorite color is and see if you can make tulips in that color. Now let's do the same things with our leaves and stems. I'm going to color the inside of the stem one shade of green lighter, then I drew my outlines. If you only have one color of green, that's okay. Maybe you could add a little yellow to it. Let me show you what I mean here in this leaf. So for this leaf, I'm going to do some yellow and then go back with my green and blend the two together. I can switch back and forth between the yellow and the green until I have it just the way I'd like. Now it's time to do the vase, and maybe we'll put something on the table behind the vase. You can even do the background. So I'm going to start by putting a few apples here. Cezanne was well known for his fruit still lifes. So I'm going to make a circle with a tiny U and a stem sticking out. And maybe a lemon here behind my vase. Now I want to make it look like this is on a table. So I'm going to make a line from one side to the other of my paper, hopping behind the vase. Stop, hop over, and go across. Now I'm ready to color my fruit, table, and background. What do you think? Here we have a lovely vase of tulips modeled after the painting by Paul Cezanne. Stay tuned for 3 ways to paint tulips. I want to show you 3 different ways that you can paint or color tulips, or really almost any art project that I'm going to do with you here at the BRAHM at Home blog and website. First, we have a watercolor method, cake tempera method, or washable markers. So some of us have a lot of different art supplies to choose from, but if not, this is just to show that you probably have something at home that you can paint with. So our first choice is watercolors. They usually come in a palette, kind of like this. I'm going to start by getting the flower shape wet with just a little bit of water. Then I'm quickly going to get some yellow paint and put it in the middle shapes of my tulip petals, and then come back with a nice bright red while that yellow is still wet. And you'll notice how the colors kind of bleed and paint themselves due to the wet paper, and that we're painting right up against that wet yellow paint. Our next method is the cake tempera. Those might look kind of like these here. So again, we're going to start with the yellow. Usually you'd start with your lightest color. I'm going to paint the middle parts of those tulip petals, and then I will get some red paint and fill in the rest of my tulip. Now you will notice that the tempera paints do not blend as well as the watercolor paints. So you'll keep that in mind if you're working with tempera. You might do more of an impressionist style with dabs of different colors. I could come back with a little bit more yellow tempera, and that would help it blend a little bit. Okay, and our last method is using washable markers. So I'm going to start coloring yellow in the center. Make sure you're using water-based washable markers. This won't work with Sharpies or any other permanent type of marker. So I'm going to color in my tulip petals. You can see this takes a little bit more time than either of the paint methods. Okay, and then I'm just going to use a brush with plain water and go over the marker. And if I lightly scrub it with water, you'll see a little bit of blending happen. The watercolor blends the best, then the cake tempera, then the washable markers. So there's 3 ways for you to paint with whichever materials you have at home.